All right, guys, today we're going to be looking at the inconvenient truth about the Democratic Party. Now, from what I'm aware of, the Democratic Party basically flipped on its head. It used to be, I guess, the South, the people that were forced slaves. Now they're not. Let's see if we can get more information on the actual topic at hand by PragerU. Let's get right into it.
When you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party comes to mind? The Republicans or the Democrats? Most people would probably say the Democrats, but this answer is incorrect. Since it's
What was Martin Luther King? I said Martin. What was Martin Luther King? Was he a Republican or a Democrat? I do want to know that. I have no idea.
founding in 1829, the Democratic Party has fought against every major civil rights initiative and has a long history of discrimination. The Democratic Party defended slavery, started the Civil War, opposed Reconstruction, founded the Ku Klux Klan, imposed segregation, perpetrated lynchings, and fought against the Civil Rights Acts of the 1950s and 1960s. In contrast,
See, now everything that she's saying right now, I could just already infer by the political attacks going on Joe Biden, like going on for Joe Biden. They say that he used to be a racist. He was for busing, this and that. So I can see why him, a Democrat, Joe Biden, was for all of those racist things. According to this video, it all lines up. See, so it makes sense. Let's keep going.
Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an anti-slavery party. Its mission was to stop the spread of slavery into the new Western territories with the aim of abolishing it entirely. This effort, however, was dealt a major blow by the Supreme Court in the 1857 case Dred Scott versus Sandford. The court ruled that slaves aren't citizens, they're property. The 7 justices who voted in favor of slavery, all Democrats. The 2 justices who dissented, both Republicans. The slavery question was, of course, ultimately resolved by a bloody civil war. The commander-in-chief during that war was the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, the man who freed the slaves.
Yep.
6 days after the Confederate Army surrendered.
Yep. See, this is stuff that I already knew. But I do want to point out, nowadays, I don't know when this video was made, whatever. It was probably like Republican good, Democrat bad, or Democrat good, Republican bad. Now they're both trash. Okay, so now at this current day, what's today? Let me see the date. It is June 5th, 2023. To this current day, the Republicans right now are working with the Democrats to sign a deal, to sign some type of package to raise the debt ceiling. What? You're a Republican. Aren't you supposed to be anti-government spending more money? I don't know. I'm confused. It's all a part of this bureaucratic system that we're a part of. So it's really nothing to me. All of it is just laughable. But if you want to pick a side, I guess, Republicans, especially if you watch this channel, probably Republicans, they're going to be for you. So, yeah.
John Wilkes Booth, a Democrat, assassinated President Lincoln. Lincoln's vice president, a Democrat named Andrew Johnson, assumed the presidency. But Johnson adamantly opposed Lincoln's plan to integrate the newly freed slaves into the South's economic and social order. Johnson and the Democratic Party were unified in their opposition to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, the 14th Amendment, which gave blacks citizenship, and the 15th Amendment, which gave blacks the vote. All 3 passed only because of universal Republican support. During the era of Reconstruction, federal troops stationed in the South helped secure.
So basically what I'm hearing is that the Democrats literally have just reversed the whole entire movement. Now they're for inclusion, now they're for diversity, now they're for this, that, all of this stuff. But in reality, it was Republicans that were for it when it actually mattered. Republicans were for it. Now it doesn't even matter that much because everybody's equal. Everybody's equal. Everybody has the same exact opportunity. So who cares? But back then it actually mattered because we were slaves. So who actually was there when it counted? It's ain't Republicans, I guess.
Secure rights for the newly freed slaves. hundreds of black men were elected to Southern state legislatures as Republicans, and 22 black Republicans served in the U.S. Congress by 1900. The
Wow.
Democrats did not elect a black man to Congress until 1935. But after Reconstruction ended, when the federal troops went home, Democrats roared back into power in the South. They quickly reestablished white supremacy across the region with measures like black codes, laws that restricted the ability of blacks to own property and run businesses, and they imposed poll taxes and literacy tests used to subvert black citizens' right to vote.
Wow.
And how was all of this enforced? By terror, much of it instigated by the Ku Klux Klan, founded by a Democrat, Nathan Bedford Forrest. As historian Eric Foner, himself a Democrat, notes, in effect, the Klan was a military force serving the interests of the Democratic Party.
Wow.
President Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat, shared many views with the Klan. He resegregated many federal agencies and even screened the first movie ever played at the White House, the racist film, The Birth of a Nation, originally entitled The Klansman. A few decades later, the only serious congressional opposition to the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 came from Democrats. 80% of Republicans in Congress supported the bill, less than 70% of Democrats did. Democratic senators filibustered the bill for 75 days until Republicans mustered the few extra.
So with all of this information, I just must ask, how, and just please answer me this, how did the culture shift? How did the culture war shift to now Republicans, supposed Republicans, or whoever you want to say, being bigots and Democrats being the inclusive people that, are going to save you and, pat your head when you go to sleep? How did that change? What, and like at what time period did the parties flip? That's all I want to know at this point. Because you mean to tell me that 80% of Democrats were against the civil rights movement? No, not even 80% of Democrats. 80% of Republicans was for the Democrats. I mean, was for the civil rights movement. I don't even know how many. I don't even know what percentage of Democrats were for the civil rights. So I'm guessing not that many because it didn't say. But actually, that's a bad guess. But still, that's crazy.
Extra votes needed to break the logjam. And when all of their efforts to enslave blacks, keep them enslaved, and then keep them from voting had failed, the Democrats came up with a new strategy. If black people are going to vote, they might as well vote for Democrats. As President Lyndon Johnson was purported to have said about the Civil Rights Act, I'll have them voting Democrat for 200 years. So now, the Democratic Party prospers on the votes of the very people it has spent much of its history oppressing. Democrats falsely claim that the Republican Party is the villain, when in reality, it's the failed policies of the Democratic Party.
Okay, so she kind of just answered my question a little bit. I still don't know I don't know what year he was in office, so I'm not even sure like the time frame still. Except basically, from what I understand, the only reason why the cultures shifted on both party sides and why now, so still gonna say the alleged racists are Republicans and like the supposed saviors are Democrats, is because the Democrats are trying to push that narrative out because since black people can vote now, okay, we're gonna push it to where now, okay, let's actually be for black people. Let's actually push black people towards us. Let's actually use all of this propaganda and all of this stuff to say that the Democrats are the good people, even though historically speaking, Democrats have pretty much oppressed you your entire life. Not your entire life, your entire lineage. How about that? That's a lot better. So yeah, I guess I can see. I don't know if I like that reasoning. I don't know if I like that reasoning. I gotta look up more. I gotta look into it more. Because really, is that the only reason why the culture shift, and why did Republicans allow the culture to shift to Democrats then? Why did the Republicans allow the Democrats to lie about them? Come on now, this is a two-way street. It's not just one way. Why did the Republicans allow the Democrats to lie about them this whole entire time? Are you really the bad guys or not? Let your voices be heard. But let's keep going.
that have kept blacks down. Massive government welfare has decimated the black family. Opposition to school choice has kept them trapped in failing schools. Politically correct policing has left black neighborhoods defenseless against violent crime. So when you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party should come to mind? I'm Carol Swain, professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University for Prager University.
Okay, that was the end of the video. That was a good video. She said, who comes to mind? If I'm being honest with you, it's not really a specific party that comes to mind when it comes to civil rights and all that stuff. It's specific people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I can't really name any white people. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even know. I was never taught the white people that helped or any other color that helped except for like the black people. So who cares? Basically, the point is that in my whole entire takeaway from this video is that the Democrats basically flooded propaganda in the media to let black people think that they are really the saviors and Republicans are really the enemy. That's really what I'm getting from the video. But what I already think and what I continue to think is that the Republicans and the Democrats are both trash as of this moment. It could get better, but right now they are both trash. I am more so conservative still in values, but in terms of political belief in the system, all of that stuff, I'm pretty anti-establishment at this point. It's very disappointing. But with that being said, my name is Jay Dottie. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Peace.